There's been an exodus from high-tax states into low-tax states. New Jersey's Governor Phil Murphy expected to once again push for the millionaire's tax. How do you feel about that?
I'm not worried about the tax so much. It's just what you have is bad policy hurting the very people that they profess to want to help. Canada, the population went, California, the population went down for the first time ever. Okay, same with New York. New York is now down. Connecticut's going down. I think New Jersey, Illinois are going down. They're doing things that hurt the people. And so, yeah, you may get some billionaires out there you don't want there, stuff like that, but you want jobs. You want production. You want your schools to work. You want infrastructure. So people should spend more time, what's the good policy we need to lift up society? And vilifying a group of people isn't going to solve that problem.
I know your annual letter is coming soon. It's become must-read. Can you give us a sneak peek in terms of what you're going to focus on?
I'm just doing the outline as we speak. I'm going to do some public policy stuff because obviously I'm frustrated that we haven't done it right. Matter of fact, I think I've said to your audience before, our slow growth, okay, of 20%, people should ask this question. We grew at 20% in the last 10 years or so. It should have been 40. The recoveries of the major downturns before were 40%. That's $2 or $3 trillion of additional GDP. Who did that hurt? It hurt a lot of people. And so we don't have growth policies, and we've done it to ourselves. It's not trade, it's not tech, it's not China. It was that we don't have proper immigration policies. We need more particularly educated. We don't have proper infrastructure policies. It takes so long to build them. Regulatory, forget bank regulatory stuff, but regulations crippled the formation of small business today. There are a lot of studies that show that. Our litigation system costs 1% more than everybody else. And we want a justice system that works, but ours has become costly, capricious, and arbitrary. And if you go through these policies, they're holding us back. Our tax policy drove capital overseas for years, and fortunately that was fixed. But so, my view is if we fix these policies, we'd be growing faster. And that would also change this calculus about interest rates, inflation, wages, et cetera.
They can't get along on anything, though. The Democrats are fighting the Republicans are fighting back. The Democrats want to impeach President Trump. What's the answer to actually getting them to agree on things so that they can get policy done to help the people, which is what they're there for?
I don't know. Michael Porter from Harvard Business School did a real study looking at...
He's good.
He's very good about what happened structurally. This got worse and worse and worse. And he's got a whole bunch of ideas and prescriptions for it, and it's not just gerrymandering. It's having, what was it called, open primaries where you can vote your first choice, your second choice, your third choice. There are other ways that we get more to the middle. And plus, I think politicians should talk to each other. I think if you're the President of the United States, you should have the opposition over every week, saying, what can we do? Where can we find some common ground? Like you said it before, we all want to build infrastructure. Why can't we get basic stuff going? And there's some infrastructure bills that maybe can get passed. A lot of us want immigration reform, and a lot of people on both sides would like to do immigration reform. We can't get it done.
Why do you want immigration reform? Why is that a priority?
Well, first of all, there's a morality around it, but DACA should stay. We have 300,000 kids a year who come here to get educated from overseas, and we make them go home. Okay, so we need more merit-based. Those folks should get green cards. I've heard the president say he believes in that. And remember, a lot of these companies are being formed by immigrants. We should have some kind of path to citizenship for the 12 million undocumented who are law-abiding and tax-paying, et cetera. And then we should have proper border security. No one would say we should have improper border security. And, of course, we went from 3 million to 12 million undocumented in the last 30 years. But that package deal should be done. If you did that, we'd have much faster growth in America. And we need more workers, too, by the way.
We sure
including
do.
The seasonal workers. So if you did that, America would be growing faster for everybody. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? But we seem unable to do it.
Any chance you'll still run for president?
No.
Okay. No, why?
I have no interest in it.
You're not going to get involved in that.
It's too complicated, yeah.
Let me ask you about markets.
Ugly.
Dow, 29,000 now. These markets are on an incredible run. Hundreds of new records for the S&P last year. Is this sustainable? I know I'm not trying to treat you as a market timer, but tell me how you see it.
I hate forecasting things. If you look at the valuation of the market, on almost any measure, it's in the top 15% of all time, other than one. If you relate PEs to interest rates, which is kind of peculiar. But if the economy continues to grow, it will justify PEs, and companies will grow into lower PEs over time and stuff like that. Obviously, all bets are off if you start in a recession. And so that, the market will react to what it thinks the future is going to look like, and so it fluctuates.
But what about that? What about that chart I showed you earlier in terms of corporate buying going down? Is that an indicator that a recession?
Buying or CapEx?
I'm sorry, borrowing. What about that chart I showed you earlier where it says corporates borrowing is down? Is that an indicator of a potential recession?
I think sometimes that's a result of a slower economy. Because it's a slower economy, companies have less receivables to finance, less inventory to finance, and they do less plant and equipment. So when you have a faster economy, their need for capital will go up, their borrowings will go up. So it looks like that. We had a slowdown, borrowing went down a little bit, now we stabilized.
So you're not worried about that?
No.
You've had a buyback in place. No. Are you going to buy your stock at any level? I mean, it hit an all-time high last year, kept going into record territory.
Look, the company, we've been buying back a lot of stock. We continue to do that. At one point, you might say, and obviously it's a board issue, is that we should do less. I would rather invest the money. I think the highest and best use of our capital is to grow our business to be more clients. And we're doing that. We have more commercial banking clients, more small business clients, more credit card clients. So I want to grow. In the meantime, we're generating a lot of excess cash, which we're buying back stock, and it still provides value at this price.
How's asset management doing? Schwab cut commissions to zero. You said earlier JPM did it first, actually, by doing it free on digital. So has that changed asset management for you, given the fact that active management has been sort of taken backseat to passive?
So I think asset management has been competitive my whole life, and my whole life margins have been coming down. And for the most part, people complain about. But I call it capitalism. That's what happens. The client gets more, and you have to find a way to get, do something better, faster, quicker, cheaper. I think it's just become more competitive. And so I do think you see more rapid changes in products and services and bundling. ETFs and passives basically were a very good way to get down the cost of managing money. That cost of managing money is a part of the return. And so that is a valid thing. So we have a huge money asset management arm, and I've told them we're gonna have to get faster and better and quicker and give the client more. It could be APIs, it could be research, it could be AI to give them ideas, it could be straight through processing, it could be bundling packages. But we're going to come up with some great stuff in our own area. We just announced we're going to have a new high net worth segment that really does a much better job focusing on high net worth investors. The private bank obviously has always been very good at ultra high net worth.
Well, I mean, you look at this market, and there's just some situations that don't make sense. I mean, look at Tesla, now above $500 a share. It's worth more than GM and Ford combined.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
It's hard. I've not studied any of those companies.
Yeah, I'm not.
So the people who build Teslas and Bikers, they think it's an exceptional car. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of competition, and also, from Daimler and Mercedes, et cetera. So we'll see.
Be sure to catch more of my exclusive interview with JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon in the next hour on Mornings with Maria, when we zero in on China.